So next, topic number 2, men in the workforce. Men in the workforce are designed to take a huge load, which means that we take a huge bearing day in and day out. Our bodies are able to do that. We can actually live the same amount of years. Men and females, age bracket of life expectancy is 76 and 79 in America. That's relatively equal. However, it could definitely be maximized with less stress. Reason why I say that, when men come home from work, they're tired, they're typically exhausted, they're typically annoyed, and they're typically, frustrated in some way. They either have something to complain about in regards to their boss, you know what I'm saying? They understand that they probably had a hard workload for the day, so, the natural thing is that they want to come home and have peace. Typically, men come home to an empty house, children away from the house, which when you see your children, that is the first thing that all children say when they come home is daddy. If you've had a home to where you had a mom and dad. If you haven't, that's for a whole nother topic, and I'm not about to go into that detail, but most of it actually has to do with the out of balance. You know what I'm saying? Men wouldn't be out of the home if there was an actual social structure that was actually empowering men. And also I want to talk about empowering black men in this culture too, because that's a huge fuck up, not giving black men any type of power in the sense of saying how hard we have to work in relativity to the other ethnic groups. Again, a whole nother topic. But when we talk about the man coming home from work, relaxation, because he has to get up and do it again tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They are not the same career field. So if a man's on a construction site and has to handle a 150 pound to 200 pound jackhammer that's driving into the ground, I don't like the concrete world, I don't like the construction world, but however, it's something that is built in this culture and keeping it actually able to be sustainable without it collapsing. And a male and female ratio of a jackhammer, I could still take a 150 pound guy to handle that jackhammer, but 110 pound, 115 pound female is not going to be able to handle that jackhammer. All right? Not for the same amount of time. She won't want to do it every day. And typically somebody would say, hey, don't give her that job. Literally the foreman or the overseer on the site will say, nah, don't give her that job. And they'll actually bitch at the man for trying to pass the job off. Again, there are different balances that are out of whack. So men have a natural knack for wanting to get things done, get it dirty, Let me show off my brute strength, Even though there's a CrossFit culture, there's a sports culture, there's bodybuilding culture, there's all these different cultures, the female's still not going to demand that she has to prove her muscle. I see buff women, fit women, athletic women, aesthetic women. They still don't require to get sweaty, messy, and dirty. And I'm talking about the mass majority. I'm not talking about the 8 to maybe 4 percentile to even down to 1%, I'm gonna probably say, that actually want to do that type of stuff, And then next we go into the topic of what do men and women have in common? Unity. You know what I'm saying? Matrimony. You know what I'm saying? Those are balances that we have. Women want to get married, and when they get married, they want to tell a man what to do. It doesn't work. No man wants to be told what to do, and when you look at the grand scheme of things, even you can look at Game of Thrones. Cersei Lannister was not traveling around the fucking world. She was running shit from home. As mean of a bitch as she was still running shit at home. It's crazy to think about, but the mother of dragons, she didn't want to be out. There was nobody left in her clan. That's why she assumed positions of power. And she saw that men in her clan were weak. They told her that, you can't do this, you can't do that. She defied that. And it ended up costing her life in the end, because she kept trying to supersede men in their positions. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be a mother of dragons. First and foremost, a mother of yourself. You have to produce a seed. You know, she fucked up by not having a man impregnate her to be able to carry on her legacy of dominancy. Yes, she's a great leader, but she should have taken a break after some point in time to say, hey, I'm going to take a break and have children. And then she would have seen that the role that she wanted is not the role that she wanted, because she cared for her dragons more than she cared for people, which means that she would have cared for her children more than she cared for the occupation of burning down cities. You know? So it's one of those realities that we really have to face. The out of balance in the world. I don't see women in the agriculture world at all, damn near. You know what I'm saying? It's a male-dominated industry, and truthfully, I don't see women poisoning food. I don't see that being within you all's nature to poison food. But niggas, and I mean niggas in the terms of like men poison food. Men use food as a weapon. Men create a impoverished society on food. Men control the food grid. There would never be a time where women were sharecropping or doing anything along those lines to where they would make an environment to where food is a weapon. They would understand the importance of the nature, the nurturing, the quality that food has and plays with the upbringing of children. So I'm literally going into a short spill of the full spectrum. And we have to really look at the full spectrum. Because the more women stay out of the house, the less vibrant this world is. Mother Earth is crying so hard. She's getting violent within the past 200 years because it literally comes down to Eurocentric mind frame. You know what I'm saying? That we massively express over the entire world. Women aren't designed to be workers. That's why you have the queen bee that sits around and has the niggas work for her. And the lion pack. It's out of balance, but still they understand the dominancy. But we're not animals. So we don't need to be thinking like animals. But there's multiple animal cultures that provide nurturing. You know what I'm saying? And we as men provide protection, clairvoyancy, spirituality, leadership, guidance. It's not to say women can't be spiritual leaders, guiders, but in the religious sector, man, this is even the religious sector is not catered towards women. I'm going to tell you that right now. The religions that we practice in mass abundance are not feminine religions because they don't go into feminine aspects. They're masculine dominated. Only talking about a man God and a man having a son that he's very intimate with somehow is not feminine equality. So if we're talking about religion, you should probably have a religion that actually has some key points that focus around men instead of calling them whores, you know what I'm saying, concubines, you know. That's what the Bible basically refers to women as. Even the queens, you know, he calls them Jezebels and shit, you know, all that stuff, yo, and people literally sit around and just take it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any women priests, which priestesses used to run around in the lands, especially the Dravidian times, the Brahmin, you know, all these different cultures that do have multiple female culture within them and their spirituality. There were chiefesses, you know what I'm saying? There were sorcerers, you know, there were witches. All these different aspects are real, they're true. There were female shamans. So we got to really focus on